when you make a record, it's kind of like the playlist you wish you had. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. There's a lot of stories that go into making this record, and I want you to hear them. It's called New Way Home. Crying Shame is a song I was very lucky to collaborate with my boss, Peter Frampton, on. He and I were on the road a few years ago, and I remember we had done, I won't name the song, but we had done an R&B song in the set, kind of a classic that we were loving doing, and I just thought he sounded great doing. Peter can sing the hell out of some R&B when he wants to. He's great at it. So I thought, you know, I'd like to write a song for him that's an original song like that instead of doing a cover, you know. So I started working on this song and wrote a chorus and brought it to him, and he loved it. So we finished the song that day in his room, writing all the lyrics to the verses, and it was really quick. I can't even imagine we spent more than 2 hours total writing this song, and I just love it. And he was gracious enough to play some awesome guitar on it, and I just love the track. Will Lee and Charley Drayton sound amazing on it, and it's just a real simple rocker called Crying Shame. Who's your daddy? Who's your man? There's a cover of a Three Dog Night song, Shambala, on this record, and it's always been one of my favorite songs as a kid. My father was a huge Three Dog Night fan, had all the records. I wanted to be like my dad. I became a huge fan of these guys, and they were so entertaining at the time. I remember them on New Year's Rockin' Eve with Dick Clark, and oh man, they're the coolest, and they had the coolest songs, and they're very crowd-pleasing, super successful band that basically didn't write any of their material. So they're just a great group and super entertaining. Deserves their place in rock history, though, even though they weren't writers. They were something else. They were just a great band. And this is a song that was written by Daniel Moore, who also wrote the song My Maria. You may remember that song. They're kind of similar songs, and I love that. Daniel Moore, I actually ended up getting to speak to him. I played him this version of the song, and he really loved it. And he was a really good guy about it, and I was real pleased with how this turned out and that Peter's on it. So this is a song featuring Peter Frampton. I was very lucky to get Peter to play that guitar, the Phoenix, on this track. In fact, I can tell you that it's the first recording he played with the Phoenix after receiving it back after 30 plus years. So I'm very proud to say, hey, I got the first recording of the Phoenix after he got it back. So a soulful, great song that I've always wanted to sing. It also features Jason Sheff from the band Chicago. He was a longtime lead singer for Chicago. Great friend of mine. Was in town and said, hey, you want to do something? I said, sure, you want to sing some vocals? So he sang the bridge vocals on Shambala. Kills. It's amazing. So I'm very lucky to have Peter. Stan Sheldon plays bass, and Jason Sheff on vocals. And just a song I love singing. One of the songs on the record, Home Sweet Home, this was written, I credit Randy Newman for giving me the idea to write this way. I love Randy Newman as a writer, and even though this song has nothing to do with him and his style, he gave me the term unreliable narrator, and I just loved it. He was talking about songwriting, and I completely love this method. And if you think about it, maybe Every Breath You Take is a similar song that's hugely successful, where the guy speaking to you, the narrator, is full of shit, completely full of shit. So that's what this is. This song is told from this person who's completely delusional, and they think they're just great, everything's fine, but they're absolutely, from an objective point of view, they're just completely screwed up. So my rough demo of this musical piece, before I had any lyrics to it, I just wrote simple piano riff 12 or whatever. That's what I called it. So in other words, it was probably just probably working on a little drum beat, and then I just, well, that's a cool beat. Let me just play some piano over it, and then tossed it off, forgot about it, and came back to it way later going, wow, there's a lot going on there. So it was kind of nice to have come back to this musical piece and then be able to write this lyric to it about this person who's very confused. And anyways, I hope you love the song. I've had a very long relationship with Gary Seeger as musical partners. We wrote at least 3, maybe 4 or 5, I can't even remember, on my first record, songs together. It was, he and I were in a very hot collaborative mode when I did that first record, Anywhere But Home. We were on a kind of a roll of writing some R&B-ish type songs, and I loved it because he's got this soul. He's such a soulful guy, and personally and musically. Anyways, but I thought, well, let's write another song. So I would come over to his house, and he had this totally other thing. It was not a soul thing at all. It was just kind of an old-timey little guitar thing, and we just started riffing over the top of it. And one of my favorite things about Gary is he's very intuitive as a writer. So we had this, at the end of that day, we kind of had his guitar riff with me, la la la, ooh, ooh ah, you know, just kind of scatting over the top with a melody, and then I left and thought, okay, well, next time we get together, we'll write lyrics for it. But the next day we got back together, he had kind of transcribed my zabuda, zubudu, you know, my gibberish into a bunch of lyrics that kind of started to make a little sense. And so we finished the song with that intent. The first time I'd ever really done that. Gary pushed me to do that and pushed us both to do that. And what I love about it is the finished lyric is so easy to sing, and I guess it taught me a huge lesson that to marry a melody and words that comes out of a certain piece of music is real key, and makes it a better song, makes it just more attached, you know. So these are the vowel sounds, the consonant sounds that came out of my mouth at this certain point of this melody naturally, and I wasn't even thinking about words. Well, he was able to kind of connect the dots, and we were able to put a song together, and I just love it. It's called Underneath a Painted Sky. Come on, Gary. Keep Calling. I'll write a prelude, sing that, and then, well, that ends up being kind of the bridge in the song, so I love how that worked out. But anyways, a great track of playing. It ended up being so much fun to do, so much fun to build the track, because, you know, when you have Will Lee and Charley Drayton as your backbone on a funky, basically funk track, you can't go wrong. It's pretty damn funky. I just love it. So it took everything I wanted to put on there worked. So that's what happened. And I just love the track. And Gary Seeger plays a beautiful ride out on the guitar. Just love this track. It's a fun one. It's fun to sing. Another song on the record that I'm super, super proud of is In Rock and Roll. This was a collaborative session with me and Damon Johnson, who's a fine guitarist, one of my dear friends, Damon. And we were living in separate cities, and we kind of made a date to do a Skype writing thing. I hadn't done much of this, and I was hoping it would work out, so I was a little nervous to, you know, okay, he's raising a family, he's got his kids. We scheduled this time, 10 o'clock in the morning. We got a couple hours. Let's quick write a song and see how this works, you know. And well, anyways, I got to my studio early and kind of banged out a whole thing because I wanted to show up to the table with something. So I had a large part of the song done, and I was hoping he would like it. So I was kind of writing it for him, and also for a bunch of guys that I was playing with at the time. I thought of Liberty DeVito on drums. I thought of Jeff Adams on bass. I thought of Jeff Carlisi on guitar, and just, wouldn't it be cool to play this kind of, write this kind of classic rock thing? And it ended up being about our life, you know, on the road. And I love the lyric of it. It's real true. It's very, the lyric is how I really feel about my life and us as being musicians. I like the honesty of this track, and the sincerity is real. It's all there, and Damon came in and just took this idea, and it just perfectly put it together. And I just love Damon so much. I love this man. He's amazing. Check out Damon Johnson, the best. And anyways, I was also very, very lucky to have Vinny Colaiuta playing drums on this. Vinny brought, if you don't know Vinny, he's played with Sting, he's played with Jeff Beck, he's played with Frank Zappa, he's played with everybody, the Pages, all kinds of zillions of people. He's considered one of the best drummers on the planet. He's just got this unbelievable energy, and he was the right guy to play this song because it's this super fast tempo, and we needed that to be done effortlessly, and he was the guy to do it. So he did a great job, so I'm very pleased to have Vinny on this. And so I hope you enjoy this track, In Rock and Roll. It's from the heart. So there's a song on this record that it's kind of a personal favorite of mine. I call it Underground. It's a song about Cricket and I leaving Florida. It's kind of a risk-taking song. Like, here we go, we're out of here. We're going to see what the future holds for us. And it was kind of a musical exercise that I wanted to see if I could make a beat that is not 2/4 based. You know, it was kind of funky, but didn't always have the 2/4 on the snare drum. And it's something that I learned from Spinners records, where they, like, if you listen to Rubber Band Man or something like that, they don't play 2/4 on the snare. It's crazy, but it's grooving so hard. It's great. And so I wanted to find a way to make a beat like this work, and then I had this other piano progression, and it just kind of fit our story about Underground. It's a track I did totally by myself in my bedroom, aside from featuring fine guitars from Miami, Jimmy Ruccolo, just great player, fantastic. And so he was able to come and add his guitar to kind of my one-man band song. It's me doing all the vocals, all the drums, all the everything, bass and stuff. It was a lot of fun to put together, but Jimmy took it over the top, so thanks, Jimmy. Sing For You was the beginning of this record. I kind of always intended that this record would start with that song. Even as I was writing all the songs, I just thought, you know, this is a great message to start with. I'm gonna sing for you. As a younger writer, I would never have written a song like this. It's way too positive. I used to think the only good songs you could write were about angst. And, you know, if it meant anything, it had to be deep, it had to be, you know, depressing, it had to come from that deep emotional place. And this is just a simple little song about, man, I just want to cheer you up. That's it, you know, and I'm going to sing for you. That's it. There's nothing more to it. It was at the beginning parts of my relationship with Cricket who made me unleash a lot of my inhibitions as a singer, as a performer. And I felt just great. I felt that on the top of my game. I could sing anything, I could write anything. I was in love, and it was all coming, flowing. And, you know, it was a song a day kind of time. It was great. And so there's a lot of that in that song as well. And again, a great track by Charley and Will on bass and drums. Super simple at its core. It's a 2-chord verse, you know, G to A minor, that's it. In the R&B tradition of those kind of songs, and then of course I had to kind of complicate matters by writing a nice chordy chorus, but it all works, it flows really well to me, and love the groove, and I love the message, and I thank my little nieces who put together a fun little video for me for their Uncle Rob singing my songs. Thanks, Ava. Thank you, guys. Give it my all. Turn that around, upside down. Oh, I'm gonna sing for you. Soon you'll be feeling just fine. I'm gonna sing for you.
Yeah.